You are in a dark forest. Even though it is full moon, the light barely shines through the thick foliage of the spruce trees. The only guidance is provided by the faint orange torchlights as you set foot on the forest path. The wind is howling amongst the branches with the occasional addition of an eerie owl hoot or crow caw. But there is something else. You can feel it. There is a darkness, a shadow amongst the trees, ready to plunge at you at any moment you leave the protective blue light behind. But you are wrong, because I did not code anything like that. Hi everyone, it is Bence here, and let me talk about the game I made for the October installment of the 2024 Hungarian One Game a Month Game Jam series. The themes for October were Scare, Game that makes music, based on a famous building, and the extra theme was Has a secret level. I think this was by far the easiest month for me to decide the theme. I did not want to make any music making game, so that theme was immediately out. I had some ideas about the famous building theme, but there was one major issue: the building itself. How can I get models that are free and can be used with minimal adjustments? So I decided to take the easiest route, which was the Scare theme, and funnily enough, almost all games for October were made for the Scare theme, so I guess I was not alone with this reasoning. I actually do not like scary games, at least the ones that are filled with jump scares. I have made a scary themed game once in which I focused on atmosphere, and my goal was to do the same this time around. Contrary to that game, this time I wanted the setting to be a forest, mostly because I wanted to practice PCGs in Unreal Engine, and the easiest way to do that is to create a nature scene. From very early on, I had the idea that the main antagonist of the game will be the forest itself. You will hear and maybe see scary things in the distance, and while you will not be attacked, you, the player, will not know that, so in a way you will create your own scary experience. Of course, the game should have some goal that the player can work towards, so I ended up with the idea of a chapel in the middle of the forest you must reach. And the easiest way to reach a point like that is to have a road that leads towards it. I quickly made a little story about why the player needs to reach the chapel. The player is a pilgrim, and the chapel is the end point of a long pilgrimage. Because of this, I eventually titled the game The Pilgrimage. To tell this story better, and the goal of the game in general, I added an NPC who tells everything to the player, and for this to work, I have created a modular dialogue system. And I figured it would be the perfect topic for a future tutorial, so if you're interested in that, I would encourage you to subscribe to the channel. My PCG forest is very basic, but I managed to add a forest path and two clearings that are excluded from the PCG generation. I needed these for the chapel and the hut of the NPC. I really wanted to make a third-person game, so I added the Cinti modular character pack and retargeted the standard Unreal third-person animations to the Cinti skeleton. I have never used a modular character in Unreal before, so it was also a valuable learning experience. To make the game a bit more exciting, I decided to include braziers that protect you from the forest, but at the same time I added a timer, so you can only spend a limited time away from the blue braziers, otherwise you lose. I initially wanted the player to be in darkness, but I later realized that even with the forest path, navigation became difficult, so I added a few torches along the path. Creating the chapel was not as easy as I initially thought. I managed to gather most parts from the Epic Games' new asset market, Fab, which caused some issues down the line, but I will return to it later. At the chapel, you need to light the last brazier and pray to win the game. However, I also wanted to complete the extra theme, which was Has a secret level. So, after lighting the brazier, instead of praying, you can look for the secret level instead. Let me know if you played the game and managed to find it. As you can see, I have mostly been using Quixel Megascans or other high quality assets. This is an interesting thing because I have heard it many times that Quixel Megascans or other high quality assets are useless for indie developers because indies usually do not make AAA looking graphics. I do not agree with this. Sure, meshes with millions of polygons and 8K textures are overkill when it comes to games, however, in Unreal, decreasing mesh and texture quality is very easy, and while you might need to manually adjust some assets, I would argue that starting from something is definitely better than starting from nothing. So, for optimization, I reduced the quality of the meshes and textures and disabled shadow casting on the directional light. And now, Fab. I used the Fab plugin to bring the assets into the engine, however, when I wanted to build a game, it turned out that the plugin caused the error. After disabling the plugin, I did manage to build the game, however, all Fab assets lost their materials. So I created a new material, copied all functionality into it from the Fab material, assigned it to the meshes, then disabled the Fab plugin and managed to build the game. The people who tried the game really liked it, especially the secret level. I am also proud of this game, especially after the abomination I submitted for the previous month. I think this is what a jam game is supposed to look like. It is short, fun, and made me learn new things. Fortunately, I already have an idea about the November game, so hopefully I will be able to create something I will be proud of, just like the Pilgrimage. You can download the Pilgrimage using the link in the description, and if you manage to find the secret level, do write about it in the comments. If you liked this video or found it useful, give it a like and definitely subscribe if you want to see the tutorial about the dialogue system. Thank you very much for watching and see you in the next one. Bye!